This is Dabu7. Unfortunately, we have another blaze here that is involving hazardous materials. This time, Kissimmee, Florida. This is a 5-acre fire that started around 2 a.m. and it broke out at this warehouse that stores plastic plant pots in Kissimmee. Hazmat teams are monitoring the air quality due to the large amounts of smoke that are coming from this area, and it's all burning plastics. So you're talking about all types of toxic chemicals being dispersed into the air. If you have friends and family in this area, please reach out. Give them a heads up. Some people may not know. You can see all the fire crews down here trying to put this fire out. And I'd say it's knocked back. They've knocked it back some since the blaze started, or since it was this size at least. A witness on the ground stating that it looks like they've got it kind of in check, but it's still smoldering, it's still smoking, and letting off a lot of toxic fumes. So residents with breathing issues are being told to remain indoors. This is not good, period, with everything that we've had happening here as of late with toxic chemicals in the air. Let's take a quick look here at Windy. Windy showing in the Kissimmee area, the wind is pushing pretty much north-northwest at 8 miles per hour. So, folks up here in, is that Windermere, the outskirts of Orlando, you're gonna want to keep an eye on this stuff. This big plume. Anyone in within, say, 50 miles of this should be alerted. So if you know anyone that lives in this area, please let them know. Reach out. Say, hey, we have a toxic plume of smoke that could be heading your way. I'm going to continue to update on this as I get more information. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for the latest updates. And join me Monday and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern on Dabu 777. For Underground World News Live, I cover stuff like this and a whole lot more in greater detail. You'll find links below. Hit that subscribe button for more. Much love, y'all.
Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, wherever they may be. This is just a quick lesson through the Spirit. As the video, which I like using using this particular broadcast or some of his information, because we take this information and we filter it through the scriptures. We make it valid because the scriptures say that these particular world events, they're going to transpire more in the end times that we're living in. So with that being said, we take articles like this and we research the information and we filter out the good information with the bad. And he's one of the ones that I go to outside of the other ones, because when he puts it on the YouTube, it's kind of in between. It's kind of like PC, so to speak. That way, when I go to Redacted or Redacted or any of those other channels like on Vimeo, not Vimeo, but what's that website, Odyssey or BitChute, and get that information, which that's good information. Also natural news. But what happens is a lot of times you bring out that information that will flag your video. So he gives you pretty much a roundabout or a synopsis about what's happening in the world, and then you can filter it through the scriptures, because it's one thing that these people don't do. They don't know how to filter these things through the Bible. Okay, and this is the reason why the scriptures tell you that, man, their tongue should fall upon their own heads, because, they're exposing each other. And we filter it through the scriptures, man. Okay, but it says, toxic plume of smoke coming from massive fire in Kissimmee, which Kissimmee is like pretty much a small or a town outside of Orlando. It's like 30 minutes from Orlando, Florida, which I consider Kissimmee, Orlando. Okay, Kissimmee. I was down there like about 2 years ago. I think around this time, 2 years ago. Pretty nice, because actually I was in Orlando, but we went to the beach down in Kissimmee because we was out in Orlando, and Daytona was just, it was a lot of rain. The rain didn't seem to stop. It was like literally like a fucking hurricane down there. So I'm like, you know what? Let's travel 30 minutes back, and ride upon the coast. Because one thing about Florida, if you remain on the coast, okay, going east, you'll run into these beaches like Jacksonville, and in between you got Orlando, then Jacksonville, then Kissimmee. If you stay on the coast, you'll run into any beach. So I want to say like 20, 30 minutes from Daytona, we found another beach, pretty beautiful place, right? But now, check this out. And that's the point, because if those toxic fumes and waste gets in the ocean, then that's a whole nother set of problems that you got to deal with. Now the EPA got to get involved, all these different agencies, but you're burning chemicals and you're putting them in the air. It's crazy. And from what I've known since I've been in Florida a few times, I know that the air is pretty clean. Okay. And I say that because it rains like damn near every day. Okay. So yeah, they have chemtrails, but if you go to Florida, you notice the sky is more clear, so clearer hue, a clearer tone to it, so to speak. Because like I said, the rain. So the chemtrails that they're spraying, it rains every day. That shit falls to the earth. So, I mean, you can have a thunderstorm in Florida, clouds everywhere, and the next hour is going to be like sunny. Okay, even at nighttime, the air quality is a little bit better down there. But with this happening, a lot of people are going to get sick. They're going to perish. They're going to die because of the negligence of Esau. But this is them setting up their new world order. Okay, they're destroying these particular towns and so forth. And they're going to bring about this digital society, okay, to lock everybody into this particular grid, okay? So, hey, don't say you wasn't warned. But it says residents concerned about air quality after fire burns hundreds of plastic pots at Kissimmee Nursery. Now, how the hell did this catch on fire? Okay, it says crews clean up large mess of melted plastic at the massive nursery in fire. Fire burns thousands of pots on Osceola County Nursery. All right. And like I said, this is literally by the beach. Kissimmee is literally, the beach is probably 15, 20 minutes away from this particular area, depending on how far east you go or how far west they are. But look, check this out. Oh, come on, man. All those fumes get into the air due to a fire. And you better believe that fire was set intentionally. Okay, just like these processing plants, these chicken processing plants, these egg farms. I'm going to say ever since 2021, you've literally been having 3 a day that catches on fire the whole entire year. So, yeah, you can see why everything is skyrocketing. Inflation is at an all-time high. Because look at what Esau is doing. He's destroying the earth. It says, firefighters are responding to a massive industrial fire in Kissimmee, Florida, that broke out behind a manufacturer of plastic nursery and greenhouse supplies just a few miles away from Walt Disney World. Yep. Because Walt Disney World was like in the cusp of Kissimmee in Orlando. Okay. And I know that because I went down there 2 years ago. And that's crazy. The population around this time, it's not too busy, but you still have a nice crowd. Like when we went down there, it was still a nice crowd because, I mean, it's always warm in Florida. It's never like, I mean, it gets cold, but not as cold as it do in the Midwest or the North. So you better believe that people, they may have to evacuate that place, and they're telling people with respiratory issues to stay in the house. But it says Osceola County fire rescue officials said that they responded to a call that came around 2 a.m. Thursday morning about a fire behind a nursery supplies plant. It says officials said about 2 acres of pallets that had plastic planters on them were set ablaze before spreading to 5-acre inferno. Now, what tells you about the plastics is they're very toxic, okay, because most plastics contain what they call BPA, okay, but why do they put contaminants in plastics, man? Because they want to kill people off. So like the syringe needles and the water bottles that people are drinking out of, that shit is toxic. That's why people have all types of respiratory issues, health issues, because the environment is killing them. Okay, and this is what Esau does. He's the harbinger of death. Okay, you had a situation in Ohio, okay, when that train derailed with those toxic chemicals that leaked into the Columbus River, possibly to the Mississippi by now, out to the Gulf, which the Gulf is known for having toxic spills and so forth. They're literally cleaning that shit up all the time. But regardless of that, you had another situation in Detroit, I believe, same account. One train derailed, but one car allegedly with toxic chemicals. And I was reading in certain clips on Twitter that people were stating, or whoever was behind these agencies was stating that basically we had to nuke the city in order to get the railways open. You see, so it's some strange shit going on here, man. Okay, but this is the book of Job 15, and I'm gonna start at verses. This whole chapter is good, but the Lord is getting ready to judge him. Okay, so it says here, the wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of his years is hidden to the oppressor. And it says, a dreadful sound is in his ears, and prosperity the destroyer should come upon him. That destroyer is Yahushai, man. It says, and believe not that he should return out of darkness. He is waited for of the sword, and he wander abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth the days of darkness is ready at his hand. But trouble and anguish should make him afraid, and they should prevail against him as a king ready for the battle. For he stretched out his hand against the Most High, and strengthened himself against the Almighty. And how is he doing that? By this artificial intelligence, okay, this new technocracy, his technology. That's his new form of AI. Is his new form of godhood. Okay, it ain't white Jesus, it ain't Christianity. That's old and played out. No, that's just what you Jakes believe in. But overall, it's this new technocracy, the AI, because everything is through digital means, from the stores to the vehicles, to your smartphones, to your computers, to everything that you circumvent your life around. Everything is pretty much put up on AI. Okay, that's this man's new God. And it says here, he runneth upon him, even on his neck, upon the thick bosses of his bucklers. It says, because he covered his face with fatness, and make a collapse on fat of his flanks. And he dwelt in desolate cities, and in houses which no man inhabited, which are ready to become heaps, man, because these cities are casted down. Sooner or later, man, they're going to lock this place down, and they're going to declare martial law, because if this keeps happening, people are going to rise up, and they're going to buck up against this devil. Okay, it says he should not be rich, neither should his substance continue, neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. Okay, which is this new world order, because in his mindset, he can replace the Most High. Like at the Davos summit, they was basically saying, look, man, there's no need for God. We are God. We got everything. We got artificial meat. We got beetle burgers, man. We got all types of shit, fly fries. We got whatever you need, a homemade grass, microwave grass, whatever. Okay, these men, these people are literally sick. They're crazy, man. Okay, they're really insane. Okay, artificial suns, artificial weather. None of the weather is really real or genuine. You know, in Florida, probably one of the places with one of the most profitable ecosystems in the country, because it's surrounded by that body of water. He totally destroyed it, man. You know, because everybody at a point in time was moving to Florida because they wanted to escape the pollutions from the Midwest and the cold. Now the people that's in Florida, they're thinking about moving west again or north because of the shit that's coming down there. You know, because I ain't gonna lie, Florida was really a place that was on the radar list of moving to, because for the simple fact, you know, the economy and shit like that. But the way it's looking, it's just like, nah, you know, it ain't gonna be no better than, you know, in the Midwest. And that was, you know, wishful thinking, you know, because we got work to do regardless, you know, but who knows? But it says he should not depart out of darkness. The flame should dry up his branches, which is the nuclear missiles, and by the breath of his mouth he should go away. It says, let him not that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity should be his recompense, and it should be accomplished before his time, and his branch should not be green. It says he should shake off his unripe grape as the vine, and should cast off his flower as the olive. For the congregation of hypocrites should be desolate, and fire should consume the tabernacle of the bribery. And they conceive mischief, and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepared deceit, because they're gonna blame this shit on who, like I was looking at the governor of what was that, Ohio, I believe. He was basically saying we're gonna hold the companies accountable. But if that's the case, why weren't they on there speaking on the situation, and you were, if you were not behind it? Okay, if they didn't say, well, look, this is what we're gonna do, we're gonna X, Y, and Z, because you was behind it, man. All right, just like the rest of you devils. All you devils have your hand in wickedness. That's why the scriptures call you the board of wickedness, man. All right, and this is the reason why you got to go, because you're destroying the earth. And honestly speaking, when you leave, when you get destroyed, then this world can prosper. No more sicknesses, man. And you know how our world is going to be without fucking sicknesses and diseases? I can't begin to fathom that. Every goddamn year you're catching a goddamn cold or a fever, or somebody's coming down with the C19, or, you know, body heart problems, man. It's like this motherfucker's just not going to stop, you know? That's why it says in verse 4, whereas Edom said we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. That's this American system. This is the revival of the Roman Empire. And you got to understand, hey, when Nero burned down Rome, he blamed it on Israelites, man. Okay, so he's burning down Rome again. And guess what? When this shit go down, he's going to find a way to blame Jake for it. You know, he's trying to blame Jake for it now. And it says, thus says the Lord of hosts, they should build, but I would throw down. And they should call them the border of wickedness and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever, man. Okay, and that's the point. You are the border of wickedness. You practice wickedness, you practice it. Scriptures say that, hey, unless he's doing evil, he can't rest. Only how he can rest is if he's doing evil. All right, so Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. They ain't conjured this shit up overnight, man. They've been planning this for some time. Like I said, they're going to destroy ecosystems, farms, waters are going to be polluted. Like the scriptures goes into wormwood, the bitterness of the waters, you know, after the nuclear destruction. And even now, he's contaminating water supplies. That's pretty much the bloodline of the country because you need an adequate supply of water. And if you don't have adequate supply of water flow, your society would die out, man, because everything is fucking toxic. And you got to drink out of these toxic water, these bottles and shit. And who's to say that shit ain't fountain water or sink water bottled up in plastic that's full of lead and contaminants? Because that water you get from the store, that shit ain't always fresh, man. That ain't nothing but faucet water in a plastic bottle. It's toxic. So we got to get out of here, man, you know? And it says, but woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. It says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. That's right. They have the power because we read the scriptures. The earth is given over into the hands of the wicked. Okay, the wicked being the elites. Okay, you common Edomite peons, you're just lower level. But it goes up to your city officials, your governors. Those men, those are like the gatekeepers. It goes up on a city level, then a county level, then a state level, then it goes up into a higher government level. Then it goes into the shadow government. Okay, these men that set in place at City Hall, they're not just set there by coincidence. They're handpicked because these are gatekeepers the elites set up. Okay, so this is why they push certain shit. All right, Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. But woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down to you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have a short time. So he's going to do what he got to do until the Lord take his ass out, which is soon, Lord's will. Our last precept, Revelation 11:18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Okay, so, hey, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakwadash, man, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. And with that, Lord's will you edify into the next lesson. Shalom and above.